Along with the nervous system, your endocrine system is in charge of regulating processes throughout the body. Almost every organ in your body is influenced in some way by hormones. All a hormone is a chemical messenger, a little molecule that travels throughout the bloodstream and tells different organs what to do. All of these endocrine glands are organs that produce hormones in order to control and regulate and communicate with other parts of the body, from your brain to your torso, even in your sex organs. So we're gonna go to the whiteboard and go through each of those organs and what they do. Then we'll enlist Terry's help to see where those organs are located three-dimensionally in the body. And finally, we'll recap everything at the end. So let's jump to the whiteboard and get started. So here we have an outline of the human body, and we're gonna start in the brain. The pituitary gland is this tiny gland that hangs off the anterior side of the brain, right in there. And it is a small gland, but a mighty gland. Basically, the pituitary is going to release a whole bunch of hormones that control all of the other glands of the endocrine system. It's sort of the leader or controller gland of all of the others. It's going to release hormones to tell the thyroid what to do, to tell the adrenal glands what to do, to tell the ovaries or testes what to do. So first point, know that the pituitary controls all of the other glands. Now the pituitary itself, of course, is controlled by the hypothalamus in the brain. I don't have it labeled on the diagram, but it's right here. And the hypothalamus contains neurons and produces some of its own hormones that regulate the pituitary gland. Now, in addition to controlling all the other glands, the pituitary has several other functions as well. I'm not gonna get into all of those right now, but there's two I wanna talk about before we move on. One is that it produces a hormone called growth hormone. Growth hormone stimulates your bones to grow and your muscles to go stronger. Some of the tallest people to have ever lived had tumors of the pituitary gland. Those tumors cause an excess production of growth hormone, leading to longer bones and therefore a greater stature or greater size. Another important hormone produced by the pituitary gland is oxytocin. It's also known as the love hormone or the cuddle hormone. Now, oxytocin has several roles in the female reproductive system, but men and women both produce oxytocin, and it's been found that oxytocin is released during moments of intimacy, such as giving a friend a hug. Oxytocin. And that production of oxytocin leads to increased attachment and bonding with other people. So not a comprehensive list, but three important functions of the pituitary gland: controlling the other endocrine glands, regulating your growth, and making the hormone oxytocin, which leads to increased bonding and attachment to other people. There's a second endocrine gland in the brain called the pineal gland. The pineal gland releases the hormone melatonin, and melatonin will make you sleepy. So the pineal gland is going to regulate your sleep cycle. Up next, we have the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is located in the bottom of the neck, and you can kind of feel it if you feel here at the bottom of your neck. It also makes your voice sound kind of strange. That's because it's really close to your vocal cords. The thyroid gland is all about regulating your metabolism. Metabolism is basically all of the chemical reactions in the body that convert the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe into a more readily usable form of energy that we all know and love as ATP. So the thyroid gland is regulating your metabolism or your energy use in the body. So thyroid, metabolism. Up next, on the posterior side of the thyroid gland, are the parathyroid glands. Now on the whiteboard here, it looks like the parathyroid glands are in front or anterior, but they're not. Those four little circles or four parathyroid glands are actually posterior or behind the thyroid gland, and they have a completely different function. The parathyroid gland will regulate the calcium levels in the body. Now when you think of calcium, you probably think of the bones.
Yes, the skeletal system is my favorite.
But even more important than calcium being in your bones is calcium being in your bloodstream. If we don't have the right amount of calcium in your bloodstream, then that calcium can't make it to all the nerves throughout your body. And if your nerves stop working and your brain stops working, then you're in real trouble. So whenever the calcium in your blood is too low, parathyroid gland will release a hormone to take some of that calcium from your bones and put it back into your blood. Or if you have too much calcium in your blood, the parathyroid will release a different hormone which tells that calcium to go back into your bones and build your bones up stronger. So when you think of the parathyroid gland, think of the skeletal system and bones, but also think of calcium in your bloodstream. Inferior to the thyroid and parathyroid glands is the thymus gland. The thymus gland is located in the chest, just superior to the heart. And the main function of the thymus gland is to develop your immune system during adolescence. Basically, when you're a kid, the thymus gland plays a huge role in developing your immune system and making it so that you can fight off pathogens more readily. But it turns out as you get older, your thymus gland starts to shrink. And by the time someone's an adult, the thymus gland has shrunk to about 10% of its biggest size. That means the older you get, the smaller that thymus gland will be and the less important it becomes. But if you never had a thymus gland at all, then your body would be more susceptible to different diseases and pathogens, and you'd get sick a lot. Inferior to that, in the abdomen, we have the pancreas. The pancreas releases a hormone called insulin, which you've probably heard of. You may know somebody with diabetes who takes insulin, And if you do, they're taking insulin to help regulate their blood sugar levels. That's what the pancreas is all about, regulating the amount of sugar in your blood. And this is super important. If your blood sugar gets way too low, then your brain won't have the energy it needs to function. And if your blood sugar gets too high, it can start to damage your arteries and your veins. So the pancreas releases insulin as well as a hormone called glucagon to regulate the blood sugar in the body. Lateral to the pancreas and also posterior to the pancreas are the kidneys. And while the kidneys aren't considered an endocrine gland normally, just superior to them is the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands get their name for being next to the kidney. In Latin, ad means next to, and renal means kidney, hence adrenal gland. I also think they look like little kidney hats. So when you think of adrenal gland, think of kidney hats. Like they just went to a party. It must be so much fun to be a kidney. I don't know, they gotta process blood and urine. That actually doesn't sound that fun. The adrenal gland is gonna release a lot of different substances and hormones, but two important ones are adrenaline and cortisol. Both of these hormones increase your sympathetic response, or the things that need to happen whenever you're in danger. It'll increase heart rate, put more sugar in your bloodstream, make your mind more alert, all of those sorts of things that help you survive when you're in a stressful situation. These hormones also reduce the parasympathetic responses. If somebody has a lot of painful inflammation, one treatment for that is getting a cortisone shot. Cortisone is essentially a cortisol injection. Cortisol diminishes the parasympathetic response and therefore reduces inflammation. But to summarize, when you think of the adrenal gland, think of the sympathetic response or the stress response of the body. Last, we have the two primary sex glands, the ovaries in the female reproductive system and the testes in the male reproductive system. I'll cover their sexual functions more in depth in videos in the reproductive system, but for now I want to talk about the hormones that they produce. We'll start with the ovaries. In this diagram, we have the uterus here are the fallopian tubes, and then here are the ovaries. The ovaries are going to regulate the menstrual cycle, and they'll do that using their hormones of estrogen and progesterone. Again, I'll cover that more in depth in videos on the reproductive system. Estrogen also increases secondary female sex characteristics. Think of all the outward changes that happens whenever a girl hits puberty. That's what we mean by secondary sexual characteristics. Now, the ovaries don't just produce estrogen and progesterone. They do produce testosterone as well, just in lower amounts. So whether someone has ovaries or they have testes, they're going to be producing both estrogen and testosterone, just in different amounts depending on which organ they have. The ovaries also release eggs during the menstrual cycle. Next, in the male reproductive system are the testes. The testes have two main functions, and that are the production of sperm and the production of testosterone. Testosterone will help with sperm production, but it'll also cause secondary male characteristics. Think of all the outward things that happen to a boy during puberty, and that's what we're talking about with secondary sexual characteristics. So those are the primary organs of the endocrine system. Now let's take a look at Terry the torso model and see where those organs are located three-dimensionally. Terry, you're up. All right, so we'll start off with the brain. And in the brain, we have the pituitary gland, which hangs off the front or anterior side of the brain. That's the controller gland that controls all of the other hormones. We also have the pineal gland in the posterior part of the diencephalon here, which is going to release melatonin and regulate our sleep cycle. Just superior to the pituitary gland is the hypothalamus, which controls the pituitary. Up here in the neck is the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland looks sort of like a bow tie around the trachea or the windpipe, and it regulates the body's metabolism. Also, if you ever see a thyroid gland bow tie, that should totally be a thing. I would totally wear it for all these videos. Please let me know if you find one. Now, the parathyroid glands are going to be posterior or behind the thyroid gland here, and those are those four dots. The parathyroid glands will regulate the calcium levels in your bloodstream. Now, Terry doesn't have a thymus gland, but if Terry did, it would be right here. It would be superior to the heart and medial to the lungs. And that thymus gland is in charge of developing your immune system during adolescence. Up next, we have the pancreas, but we can't see the pancreas because it's posterior or behind the liver and the stomach and the intestines here. So let's take some of these things out. So here's the pancreas. It's connected to the small intestine as well as the spleen here. And the pancreas releases insulin and glucagon to regulate the sugar levels in your bloodstream. Anterior to the pancreas are the kidneys, and just superior to each of those is the adrenal glands, or the kidney hats. The adrenal glands release adrenaline and cortisol, which is going to regulate your body's response to stress. And then finally, we have the ovaries and the testes. In the female reproductive system here, the ovaries are located right here and right here. This is the uterus, the fallopian tube, and then the two ovaries. The ovaries are in charge of releasing eggs, regulating the menstrual cycle, and producing estrogen, which develops all the secondary female sex characteristics. Finally, in the male reproductive system, we have the testes. The testes are going to produce sperm cells, and they'll make testosterone, which will help develop the sperm cells, as well as develop all of the male secondary sex characteristics. Now, before we go, if you'd like, pause the video and see if you can name all of the endocrine organs, as well as what function each endocrine organ does. We have the pituitary gland, which controls all the other glands. It also makes oxytocin, the love hormone, and growth hormone. And of course, the hypothalamus controls that pituitary gland. We have the pineal gland, which makes melatonin and regulates your sleep cycle. We have the thyroid gland, which regulates your metabolism, and the parathyroid glands, which regulate the calcium level in the blood. We have the thymus gland, which develops your immune system during adolescence. There's the pancreas, which is going to release insulin and glucagon to regulate your blood sugar levels. And just superior to the kidneys are the adrenal glands, which produce adrenaline and cortisol to regulate your body's response to stress. Finally, we have the ovaries in the female reproductive system, which are going to release egg cells, regulate the menstrual cycle, and make estrogen, which is going to develop this female secondary sexual characteristics. And finally, in the male reproductive system are the testes, which will produce sperm cells, as well as testosterone, which will develop the male secondary sexual characteristics. All right, I guess we've reached the end, Endscreen, of the video. Yeah, that was a bit of a stretch. Terry, I feel like they probably learned a lot from that lesson, but does it sort of make you feel hollow inside that the video's over now? Man, I'm running out of things to do for the end credits here. Does anybody know any good endocrine jokes? If you have a good one, leave it down in the comments. Terry and Mortimer, y'all are both seeming a bit sus to me.